People ask me, why am I a Democrat? Well, there's a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons was I've been watching the Republican Party since the 1948 election for Harry Truman. And the lies they told about that, but not Dewey himself, but the Republican Party told just vile, vicious lies about Harry Truman. And I saw this all during the McCarthy era, with the House, with the Senator McCarthy, and then the House Un-American Activities Committee, with viciously attacking people and accusing them of being communists because they knew somebody who had a brother-in-law, who had a sister, who went to college with a girlfriend who at one point in time went to a meeting of the American Communist Party, and so they would take whatever tenuous relationship there might be, and they ruined people's reputations. The Hollywood blacklist was a disgrace. And I've just seen this all. Well, now what I've seen is the Republicans coming and rushing to the defense of the murder of helpless people in the ocean who were the victims of this illegal rocket attacks on a small boat out in the middle of nowhere on the high seas, on the flimsiest of excuses, saying that these are people who are killing Americans because they're bringing fentanyl. Well, they're not bringing fentanyl. Fentanyl comes through Mexico. If anything, they're bringing cocaine, but there's no evidence that they were bringing in anything. They blew that boat out of the water, and then they had two survivors were clinging to the burning wreckage. They had, and according to the testimony of the admiral, they had no weapons, they had no radios, they had nothing. And they were trying to hold on to this boat. So Hawley comes out of this meeting and he says, "Oh, these two guys were trying to turn over the boat, right the boat upside down, flaming boat, right? And it was cut in half. The motor part was gone altogether, and the front of it was still intact, partially, but it was upside down in the water." And these two guys were supposedly, according to this Josh Hawley, who's a senator from Missouri, a Republican, they were trying to flip the boat over so they could get back in the boat and carry on their way all the way up to Miami. Now that's so ridiculous and ludicrous that you can't imagine. You think, well, this poor guy doesn't have he must be barely literate. He's got a degree from Stanford and a law degree from Yale. He knows damn good and well that what he is saying is ridiculous and a lie. And it's infuriating to me because here they go again. I don't hear Democrats telling those kinds of whoppers. I disagree with a lot of positions that some Democrats have taken, like on DEI and things like that. But boy, when it comes to just telling whoppers, these Republicans, it's not all of them, but there's enough of them, will say any damn thing they can think of to get what they want, to a place where they want to be politically. So I'm sorry to be, so upset about it. But I'm watching this, and he wasn't the only one. There's several other Republican senators did the same thing. People helpless. The Uniform Code of Military Justice, and I have a lot of familiarity with that. I grew up with it. My dad was a judge advocate general of the Air Force Communications Service. I was a lawyer for Air Force J. It's very simple. If you're at war, which we weren't even at war, if you're at war and an enemy former combatant, which these people were never combatants, is helpless, and the example they give you when you go into your basic training is someone who is blown out of the water and they're helplessly floating in the water, you are not only not supposed to kill them, you're supposed to rescue them. And here we have Josh Hawley trying to justify basically what is murder. And it was murder, not just murder under the Code of Military Justice, because it doesn't really apply. We're not at war with Venezuela. It was killing civilians on the high seas. We never did that before Trump. The Coast Guard would interdict them. That's a Coast Guard function, and it's a criminal issue. It's not an act of war. And the idea that, and the only, even at war, the requirement for killing somebody is there a clear and immediate present danger to American forces. There weren't any American forces out there that those people could attack. And that they eventually were going to take this tiny little boat and go to Miami, which is an absurd idea in the first place. If you ever had a small boat, and I've had a boat that size, they're never going to get to Miami. So the whole thing was just absolutely ridiculous, and it's infuriating that these people have these high offices in this country. It's up to Congress to do something about it, and I tell you, if I get elected, I will. I promise you that.